My talk today is about the objects of my obsession. How everyday objects connect us to people, our community, and the world. I've worked in history museums for 25 years, all across the country, from Pennsylvania to Maryland, Indiana to Illinois, and now Arizona. I also come from a place, Meadville, Pennsylvania, that I like to call the crossroads of history, because so much happened there, or at least passed through there. The first, Lieutenant George Washington, when he told the French to get out of North America because it was English land. Oliver Hazard Perry, who built an armada and met the British in the War of 1812. John Brown, who began his career in abolition in a small church where he signed an abolitionist pledge. Edwin Drake, who drilled a well and found oil for the first time and changed our world. Gideon Sunback, the man who invented the hookless fastener, or as we know it, the zipper. And even channel locks, something that many of us have in our garage today. All of these things come from my hometown. All of these things would be the things that touch the world, change who we are. But that's not what my story is about. My story is about a little boy who, with his dad, on a sunny afternoon in the backyard, had quite an adventure. So first you'll see this photo. Yes, that's me standing on top of a large dirt pile. We were planting trees in the backyard. My dad had dug down about 3 foot, and he came upon this, a little car. Knowing that I was very anxious to help, but not being much help, threw the car up to me and said, "Here, this is yours." And I said, "How on earth did this get down 3 foot into the ground?" I asked, why is this car here if we built our house here? The first people to build our house. My dad, being that tire salesman, not knowing any better, decided to give the best advice that a husband could give, and he said, "Go ask your mom." Now, I did that. Went into the house, talked to my mom. My mom, being a nurse, didn't really have the answer either. But she knew it was something that she wanted to inspire me, to encourage me to find out. And so she took me to the one place she thought would have the answer, the Crawford County Historical Society. There, a willing staff member listened to this little boy and said, "You know what? Let's start to look." Took down books, took down histories, eventually finding a land ownership map, and said, yes, indeed, there was a property owner there. That very quickly led me to this house. And from that house, I discovered a family that in 1950, a small little boy lost this MIDGETOYS race car. This little car. When I began to look into the car, I discovered it was from Rockford, Illinois, by a tool and die manufacturer that after World War II needed to build something with aluminum. And so they chose to go into cars and other toys. Toys that cost just simply 10 cents. This is another one of those everyday objects that you may look at and think, what is this? Insignificant, yes? You may look at this envelope and say, why would someone save this? Is it the stamp in the corner? Was someone trying to save the stamp? Or was it just because, look, it's from 1943. Maybe it's from World War II. Maybe that's the significance. Well, no, if you look a little bit further, you'll see there's quite a bit more significance. First of all, it's addressed to the University of Southern California bookstore. Okay, that's interesting. During the war. But also, if you look at the return address from a place called Rivers, Arizona. Rivers, Arizona, and a very odd number for an address, 581C, by a young man by the name of Henry Kondo. A little bit of research will show you that, yes, Henry Kondo was a Japanese American from Pasadena, attending the University of Southern California. Why would he be writing a letter from Rivers, Arizona? Well, that's because he happened to be at the Gila River internment camp, Block 58. Building number 1, room C. He and his entire family were interred during World War II because they looked like the enemy. This young man ultimately joined the 442nd, the most awarded U.S. military unit in all of history, filled with Japanese Americans that had been largely interred due to their ethnicity because they looked like the enemy. He bravely joined the military himself, fought in France, and gave the ultimate sacrifice in the famous Battle of the Lost Texas Battalion. These are these significant everyday objects that connect us to people, to places, to things. They sometimes will change your view of the world. So the next time you're looking in your garage or in your attic, grandma's attic, trying to clear things out, take a moment to look at those tiny little objects, because those tiny little objects can change your view of the world, can change your view of yourself and of the people around you. Thank you.